Welcome back to the World Rocket Show, aka Football Review. We just went over the brackets for the district tournament. I did not print out another set to make my prediction. I'm not going to predict Class A since I am affiliated with Millersburg, obviously, as their as a stat person. So I won't. But I think I'm probably with the majority though. However, but I'm not going to make an official pick. Went over the rest of the classes. I'll let you know next week. Or well, if I have, well, I might do a video tomorrow to go over and let you know how I did. Uh, Went over all the district Eastern Conference and District 11. Now we're going to talk a little Penn State. Last week, they had opportunities, and again, a lot of people are questioning play calling last week, and I have to agree because they waited to the second half to roll out Hackenberg, and look what they did in the second half. They scored points. Now, why doesn't Donovan do that? The first start out the game like that, roll them out. Obviously it works. That has baffled my mind all year long. The offensive play calling by Donovan. Luckily they have a bye this week. They need it as they end the season with Michigan and Michigan State. Right now, there's several bowls that they could possibly go to. I've heard Music City, the Tax Slayer Bowl, what used to be the Gator Bowl, Holiday Bowl. I've heard possibility, and there's another one in Florida somewhere. So there's like 4 possible places Penn State could end up. Obviously, if they win out and finish 9-3, they could end up just in Florida, maybe in the Citrus or the Capital One. Well, the Capital One or Outback Bowl, excuse me. Those two could be a play if they somehow win out. But again, the defense kept them in it. They gave again the run pass option quarterback gave them a little trouble. Barkley had a decent game again. But the key Monday night quarterback is the play calling of John Donovan. That's my beef. It's been that way. I think it's been that way all year. The not using Hackenberg's skill set. That we'll get into after the season's over. What Hack should do right now. Everybody is going to be back next year. I don't want to tip my hand, but I think it would behoove him to come back next year because then all the pressure would be put on Franklin and Donovan because you got everybody back and it'd be the third year in the system. And then if they don't produce, I think you got to go another direction. We'll see how the season pans out and then discuss that. But again, my thoughts on the game was play calling was pretty poor the second half. Uh, well, it was pretty poor the first half, good the second half. They just need to have that play calling the same play calling first and second half. Um, the top four in the college football rankings, I got no problem with. But if Baylor beats Oklahoma, I think you got to bump either Notre Dame or Iowa out of there. Even Alabama. You might have to bump one of them. So, but right now, I have no problem with how they are after Alabama dominated LSU. That was pretty impressive. But they did defensively to Leonard Fournette. That was phenomenal, holding him to 37 rushing yards. So enough of that. Let's move on to the Cowboys Eagles game Sunday night. That was pretty good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how that transpired. End of the game though, two pretty poor pass interference calls on Malcolm Jenkins. That was pathetic. Those two I thought were absolutely horrible calls. The first one pretty iffy at best, but the second one was absolutely horrendous. I don't know what these officials are thinking. He played the ball. The corner has the right to the ball. There was no interference. But Jordan Matthews finally showed up. That got the running game going. DeMarco Murray did a nice job. Bradford did a nice job. Defensively, Jordan Hicks. That's gonna be a big blow. Defensively, he was just doing phenomenal. He had a pick six and then injury. Then in the next series, torn pec out for the season. That's gonna hurt, but hopefully DeMarco can come back. The defense is really good. Is pretty good right now. They're doing a nice job. Too many. They got to cut back on the penalties. But overall, they're starting. I think they're getting ready to start the peak at the right time. We'll see. Tough opponent. You got to worry about Ndamukong Suh this weekend against the Dolphins, but I just think Eagles will win pretty easily. I think they're going to run the football, as the Dolphins are one of the worst rushing defensive teams in the league, so they shouldn't have a problem running the football. That's what I have to say about that. Castle did. I will say Castle did a decent job. He was picking apart the Eagles a good deal, especially Cole Beasley. There was some poor tackling on him, but you got to give a shout out, props to Cole Beasley. But somehow Castle has the Eagles number. He burned them a couple years ago when he was with the Vikings, and no Adrian Peterson pretty much destroyed the Eagles secondary. And you got to give him he had a decent game as well against Philly, but they needed that win to stay with the Giants. Because if them two teams tie, Eagles get the division with the tiebreaker. With them beat the Giants 27-7 the last time a couple weeks ago. So that was huge. Rest of the games now from here on out are pretty much must-win games, I believe, to keep pace with the Giants. So we'll see. Some other news. Trying to think here. Some other sports news here. Trade talks are heating up in the meetings in Florida. MLB. Zach Greinke opted out of his contract, so he's a free agent, and he's going to be one of the top players to go in free agency, along with David Price with the Blue Jays. but the Phillies will not be in play. I would like to see them. They got the money, but John Middleton, one of the principal owners, he's not willing to spend big money right now as the Phillies are in rebuild mode. If they wanted to go that, they could, but that remains to be seen. But the name that that is coming about trade talk right now has been that way the last couple of weeks is Ken 100 Miles Giles as a closer. Young, a lot of experts are saying you can get a lot for him. But you got a closer, you can have him for a long time, 10, 15 years closing games for the Phillies. I would be against. Me personally, I would be against trading Ken Giles. He's your closer of the future. If they would, where are you gonna find a quality closer like him? And you brought him up in your system, and just to get rid of him like that, unless you get a huge prospect or a top-notch major league player in return for him, I would not trade him. You got Eflin and Nola at the top of the rotation. You need to fill 3 starting pitcher spots. Now I could see Freddie Galvis being traded shortstop because you got a stud in J.P. Crawford coming up. So that's going to be interesting what the Phillies do to fill out their starting rotation. And it looks like, from what I've been reading, I think Ryan Howard's they're gonna play out his contract this year. He's gonna probably end up him and Darren Ruff split time at first. So that remains to be seen. Some other I did see Kobe Rasmus sign with the Giants for a couple years, $15 million. I haven't heard anything else, but if there's any major free agent signings or trades, I'll fill you in on that throughout until spring training. Tomorrow, obviously, college basketball starts. Number 1, North Carolina, one of the favorites to win the national title. I've seen Maryland, Kansas, and Carolina as the picks. People are picking to win the national title. They play Temple tomorrow. There's a slew of games tomorrow, but probably one of the top games tomorrow, Temple, North Carolina, that I saw. So college hoops getting ready to start, and we're gonna end it. Just to let you know, I just want to first off wish everybody good luck as on Monday the winter sports season starts, official practice. So I want to wish everybody that is playing in the winter sport good luck on the upcoming season, boys, girls basketball, wrestling, swimming. Hopefully it's injury free and you have a great year. My stance on how I'm going to cover hoops, since I'm an assistant coach at Millersburg for girls, I will not comment. I will not even do a preview on our team. Don't want to give, just like last year, I won't do anything. I will talk about maybe once the power ratings come out, some teams like they're looking pretty good to make playoffs. I'll comment on some like local teams if they're doing well or whatever. Or if we're doing well, I just may say, hey, I'm pretty pleased. I'm pleased with what we're doing and all that. But that's about it. I won't comment about our team until our season is complete. But I will when the brackets come out. If we do make playoffs, I will mention like we're like a 6. This is who we play. Blah blah blah. I will not like make a pick or comment about our opponent or nothing like that. I will just say we're playing so and so at so and so and all that stuff. But on the boys' side, This side, I will say, this side of the river in the Tri-Valley League is loaded. Millersburg, Upper Dauphin, and Halifax are absolutely loaded. So that should be fun to follow the boys in the Tri-Valley League. Class A, I really do think Millersburg has a chance to make a big run again. So we'll see about that. So we're gonna end it. Tomorrow night I will come on here and give all the scores for the playoff games. And then we'll update the brackets for football, and then get set for next week. So this is the Little Rooker Show football review. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night after all the playoff games. I'm going somewhere if the weather's decent. If it's windy and cold, I will not be going to any playoff games. Just to let all you know. So, again, thanks. Good weekend. This is Little Rooker Show football review. See you tomorrow night. Have a good weekend.